So now we know why they went after Elliot Cutler. I wasn't able to put two and two together until until just now. So Elliot Cutler is the spoiler against the Democrats in 2010 and 2014 for the gubernatorial race. So he took out, I think he came in second in front of the Democrat and allowed for Paula Page, who I like, to win the governorship. Now, look, let's be honest. Is Paula Page going to solve the world's ills? No, but I'll take an R any day of the week over a D. That's for doggone short. I actually like Paula Page. However, trust me, I think Paula Page has a lot of Trump tendencies in there that lots of hat and not much cattle. With that said, he's not evil like the Democratic Party is. Anyway, so Cutler took out, he came in second. And a lot of people said you split the Democratic vote. He tried again in 2014. He came in a distant third. But with that said, he got 8% of the vote. And that was enough to, again, allow for Paula Page to win. 2018 is going to be an anti-Republican year in a lot of these, kind of blue states. And I don't think Page was running again, if memory serves. I don't think he was. I'm not sure if he's term limited or what. I'm not sure how that works. But I don't think he was running again. And so a stupid Janet Mills wins as a Democrat. All right. So we got the Democrat in there. And Janet Mills is a fool. I'm about as smart as a freaking box of rocks. A tyrant, and don't get me wrong. I mean, they literally had in Maine to play basketball for state championship. You had to wear a mask. To run an indoor track, probably outdoor track too, you had to wear a mask. This is how insane the liberals are, man. They're nuts. So give me a Paula Page any day of the week over this freaking idiots. That's for doggone sure. Now, I don't live in Maine, but I'm a native Mainer, and who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Anyway, point being is that I follow Maine politics quite a bit, and then out of nowhere, Elliot Cutler gets arrested for child porn. And I said, how do they draw the ire on Elliot Cutler? He's just a rich political hack. It's just weird to me. Like, where did this guy come from? He's been a lefty his whole life. Environmental, worked for Muskie, worked for Jimmy Carter. But he took out the Democrats for governorship and allowed Paula Page to win. If memory serves, LePage is running again in 2022. Who else was running? Oh, Elliot Cutler as an independent. But if you listen to Elliot Cutler in his one of his campaign speeches, he sounds just like a Democrat. All in favor of teaching sexuality, if you know what I'm saying, huh? All in favor of all these different genders. Abortion on demand. Hell, it can be in the first month after delivery. You didn't say that, but I'm being facetious. But you know what I'm saying. The Democrats used to say safe and rare. Now, like, hell no. You want to kill your baby? Do it. We don't care. We'll pay you to do it, as a matter of fact. And especially if you're black, we want you to kill your babies. That's why we're donating $275 million, Mackenzie Bezos is, to Planned Parenthood to help black moms. Freaking nuts, dudes. It's murder, 100%, murder against a certain race of people, and yet the blacks will continue to vote for those same people because they think, for some reason, the Democrats have their best interests. Not if you're not alive. That's for doggone sure. Because the Republicans do a better job? Yeah, I think so. I've talked about this 1,000 times a Sunday, but at the end of the day, people got to do what they got to do. There's nothing I can do about it. Anyway, I do think this started to shift. It doesn't take much of a shift for blacks to leave the Democrat and join the Republican for a massive Republican landslide. The problem is, at some point, I'd rather have Republicans lose than to get a Mitt Romney, get a Mike DeWine. At least with Democrats, they're evil. With Republicans, you're just not sure what will make them evil or not. You see what I'm saying? You don't know. So you hold out hope that they'll be somewhat in favor of freedom, but a lot of these guys aren't. When the S hits the fan, a la 2020 and 21, many Republicans, they were just as freaking Nazi as Democrats were. Many were, because they like the power. They like the power. Anyway, so going back to Cutler. So Cutler is running as an independent. Janet Mills is the incumbent. Cutler sounds literally a carbon copy of any Democrat today. You know what I'm saying? Actually, probably even more green, because Cutler comes from environmental background. So I guarantee, and I haven't looked at his I mean, he's gone now. He's in prison, or at least he's out on bail, but you know, I'm sure it's a matter of time. So it's like, where did this start? Wait, how come all of a sudden out of nowhere, Elliot Cutler, just out of nowhere, you know, one of the top guys in Maine politics, just out of nowhere. So I'm watching this video on News Center Maine or News Center 6, something like that, on YouTube. And it turns out the National Center for Exploited Children or something like that had an anonymous tip that they sent to the Maine State Police in December. Yeah, okay. So where did that come from? Well, you know it came from the Democrats. So Cutler is there. The Democrats, this is what they do, man. This is what they do. They say, you're going to join with Satan. Well, just be advised, you could easily be our scapegoat. Easily. If it gets in the way of us in power, you're going to be the last man. You're going to be first man out the freaking door of the helicopter while we're, 600 feet above the drop zone, if that makes sense. I don't even know what you call it, a helicopter. When you jump out of a helicopter, a drop zone, I don't know. I was in the infantry. No reason to jump out of a perfectly good flying machine. Anyway, so long story short, it's like, what? Well, it's just weird to me. So they get some anonymous tip, the National Center for Exploited Children. They send it to state police. Lo and behold, 2 months later, Elliot Cutler is in prison, and he won't be able to run for his campaign, and that means he will not be able to take Janet Mills out. So, I can almost guarantee you the hands of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Paul Begala and all these evil people, George Stephanopoulos, James Carville, I can almost guarantee someone who's running Janet Mills' campaign is knee-deep with Obama or Clinton, one of those two people, because those people are evil. Evil. They'll take you out if you don't heel to their demands. Don't forget, when Obama, so there's a guy named Jack Ryan, who's a Republican, who's running against Obama for the not state senate, literally the U.S. Senate in Illinois, 2004. Now Obama is Barack Obama after September 11th. Radical, he's got his crazy church guy there, whatever that guy's name is. The chickens have come home to roost, that clown. Anyway, so Obama, he had done some underhanding political legwork to get to win on the state senate. It's actually pretty interesting in terms of what he did to win these seats. Some real bad maneuvering, but he won. And when you're dealing with the devil doesn't care how you win. Just advance the cause of the devil, man. That's all the devil cares about. Advance the cause of the devil. Lie, cheat, steal, the devil doesn't care. Of course, if you think the devil is going to reward you, you're crazy, because the devil lies, cheats, and steals himself. Anyway, so Obama does this to win the state senate seat. A guy named Jack Ryan, kind of wealthy hedge fund guy, if memory serves, something like that, a real estate developer. I think he was a hedge fund guy. He's running against him. And the polls are actually pretty close, believe it or not. Because Obama was new on the scene. And it was new. I mean, he's from Chicago. Jeremiah, whatever that guy's name was, his pastor. And it was 2004. So we're still knee deep in this somewhat. And the pro-Bush thing because of the war. People still want to make sure that Bush, was it 2004 or 2? It was 2004, I'm sure of it. Because he gave that speech to the Democratic National Convention, that's what it was, in 2004. And this is before he was even elected to the U.S. Senate. And then 4 short years, he went from state senate to friggin' president. I mean, only America, baby. Anyway, long story short. So Jack Ryan had gone through a pretty nasty divorce. The records were supposed to have been sealed, not to be opened. Certainly not to be open to use as political tools against Jack Ryan. And somehow Obama and his band of bandits were able to get those court records opened. And that was the end of Jack Ryan. I can't remember if he dropped out or after that he was on the defense. Who knows? Remember, accusations are not guilt. It's just accusations. Even with stupid Elliot, what's his name, Cutler, I mean, it's just accusations against the guy. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're accused of something doesn't make you guilty. Anyway, long story short, so Obama was able to get the court records unsealed, and the rest is histoire, and we're all worse off for it for that man. That's just a fact. Which kind of reminds me of 1992. A horrible woman named Barbara Boxer was running against Bruce Hershenson. Bruce was a pretty constitutional conservative guy who had won the primary in the Republican Party because the Republican Party back then, you know, we still had Pete Davis, was that his name? I forgot the guy who was governor. The Republican Party still had chops in California at that point. Anyway, Bruce Hershenson had won in 92, and Barbara Boxer was a crazy loon. Crazy left-wing loon. And California back then wasn't a crazy left-wing state like it is now. And don't forget, you can't gerrymander districts for the Senate. You know, so it looked like Bruce Hershenson was actually winning in the polls. And then the Democrats, as they do, some sneaky maneuvering, they made up a lie about Bruce Hershenson attending a strip club. And Bruce Hershenson was actually well known because he was a TV sports personality. All right, so when I was growing up, we had Bruce Glazer. New Center 6 was our sports guy that everybody knew. I think it was Bruce Glazer, something like that. So he was like the face and voice of sports in Maine. Bruce Hershenson was the face and voice of sports, at least in Southern California. But they made up some crap about 2 weeks before the election saying he was found in a strip club, completely made up, fake. And of course the media ran with it. And Bruce Hershenson lost, and Barbara Boxer went on to enact lots of evil in the U.S. Senate. Not a good person. And that's what we're dealing with. The Democrats, Satan plays for keeps. The Republicans, the country club. So if you're going to engage in politics, all right, you have to play for keeps, or else why even bother? Why even bother? If you think you're going to go and be patty cake, it's not going to happen, man. How many lessons do you need with Clinton's, Obama's, the Democratic Party as a whole, David Axelrod? These are evil, evil people. And if you're going to engage, you better strike first. There's an old Black Market Baby song. Strike first, make it hurt. Ask questions later. Strike first, make it hurt. I'm out of control. Strike first, make it hurt. I'm a troublemaker. Strike first, make it hurt. My blood runs cold. Anyway, that's if you're going to engage, you better engage in some real underhanded stuff, which means you're going to dirty yourself. Doesn't have any appeal to me, but as Republican voters, you better support the people who do. The country's at stake, man. The country's at stake. Saul Alinsky, follow his commands. And if you're going to engage to win, or else why bother? All right, we'll see you.